Hey there, this is Kamal, and in this video, we're gonna see how to identify faces using OpenCV. So, let's get this started. Alright, so before going further, let me clarify a few things. In this video, we're gonna see how to identify faces using OpenCV, and we are not gonna go into face recognition. So the difference between face identification and face recognition is the fact that in face identification, you're just going to identify the location of where the face is present inside an image. Whereas in face recognition, you're going to distinguish between two faces and identify whose face that is. So even in facial recognition, you need to first identify the face. So the facial recognition starts with facial identification. So in this video, we're going to see how to identify that face inside an image and also draw a rectangle around the face, implying that we are able to detect the face inside that image. And in the upcoming videos, we're going to see how to implement this into a project and create a facial recognition project where we're able to distinguish different faces and also name them accordingly. Alright, so I have my project open here, and in this project we mainly have two files currently. The first one is the HAR Cascade, and this HAR Cascade file is the file which contains the logic of identifying the face. So this contains the facial features and everything else which is required to identify and distinguish the face inside a particular image. So you can download this file online. So open your browser and type in HAR Cascade. Then go to the GitHub repository, and this repository is going to contain multiple HAR Cascade files. So there's a HAR Cascade file for eyes, for nose, for smile and for emotions and everything like that. So you can get a particular HAR Cascade for a particular thing. So for this video, we're going to use the HAR Cascade frontal face default. So for the frontal face as well, we have multiple alternate versions, but I'm going to go with the default version. So you can click on this and then click on RAW to open the RAW format. So here, when the RAW format has opened, you can right click and save this page. So you can save that in the directory where your project is. So this is the file that I got from online. So apart from this file, we also have another folder called as images, and in this we already have two images, and we're going to test our project on these two images. So I have a portrait image and also another file named as portrait-2. So the base requirement for this project is that you have to have Python installed on your system, and if you don't know how to install it, I'll link a video in the description down below. You can go there and see how to download and install it. And once the installation is done, you can carry on from here. So the main package that we're going to use for this video is there in the title itself, that is OpenCV. So I'm going to create an environment first, and I'm going to download my package into that environment. So it's not necessary for you to create your own environment, but I suggest you to do that because in my case, I don't want my project to interfere with my native installation of Python. So I'm going to create an environment first and then install all the packages inside that environment. So you can skip this step if you don't want to install any environment. You can just directly install it on your native system. Alright, so the command for installing OpenCV is something like this. So it's pip install opencv-python. So now click on enter. So the installation is done, and this is the only package that you're going to need to install onto your system. So I'm going to close my terminal and I'm going to create a new file and name it as identify.py. So in this file, I'm just going to import my OpenCV first. So it's going to be import cv2. And below this, I'm just going to initialize the cascade classifier. That is, I'm just going to initialize the HAR Cascade file. And the way that you do that is I'm going to first create a variable. So inside CV2, we have a method called as cascade classifier. So that's going to initialize the cascade file. So I'm just going to copy the name of this file and place that here in between the quotes. So we have initialized the cascade classifier. Now we need to initialize the image that we're going to use in this project. So I'm going to create a variable called as img, and inside CV2 we have a method called as imread, and for that I'm going to give the path of where the image is stored. And currently my images are stored in a folder called as images, and I'm going to select the portrait image. Alright, so the next thing that you have to do is that you have to identify the face inside the image. But the thing with CV2 or OpenCV is the fact that it only deals with grayscale images. So first you have to convert the image into a grayscale image. So the way that you do that is first I'm going to create a variable. So we have a method inside CV2, it's called as CV2 color. And for this, we're going to pass in two parameters. The first one is going to be the image itself, and the second one is going to be its CV2 dot color underscore BGR to gray. So it's going to convert the image from BGR to gray. So now that we have our image and it's inside a variable called as gray image, we're going to pass that image to a method inside CV2. So we have a method inside CV2 called as detect multiscale, and this is the method which is going to detect the face inside the image. So for this we're going to pass in 4 parameters, and those are the 4 parameters are gray image, which is the image itself, and the second one is scale factor. So this scale factor deals with how much the image has to be scaled down or scaled up so that the face can be identified easily inside the whole image. Whereas the third parameter, which is minimum neighbors, says how many neighbors a particular face should have for it to be considered as valid. Whereas the fourth parameter mentions the size of the rectangle which has to be used to bound the face. So if you want to get an accurate prediction of the face, you have to change the scale factor and minimum neighbors accordingly so that they work for you inside your current environment. So if you want to know more about these two things, you can go to the GitHub repository where this project is uploaded, and in the readme section you have all the parameters you can give to this method and also explaining things of what you can give to that input and which is actually good to identify the face. So you can give a quick read through this, and once you have the idea, you can just try to tinker around with these 2 parameters so that you can get an accurate prediction of the face. So these two generally depend on the location that you are in right now, that is the room and the lighting conditions. So you have to tinker around with this a bit so that you can get a pretty good prediction. So when you use this detect multiscale, it's going to return 4 values. Those are X, Y, W and H. X and Y represent the starting position of the box, and whereas W and H represent the width and height of the box, and that box is what is going to outline our face. And we are going to just place those 4 values inside a variable called as faces. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to initialize a loop. So I'm going to use a for loop. So for all the values present inside the faces, I'm going to assign them to variables called as X, Y, W and H, and inside the for loop I'm going to create a method called as rectangle, and I'm going to use that method to draw the rectangle onto the image. So for this rectangle method, we're going to pass in 5 parameters. Those are so the first parameter is img, that is the image itself, and for this we're going to pass in the original image as we want the output to be seen on the colored image and not in the grayscale image. So I'm going to pass in the original image. And the second parameter is going to be the starting position of the box. Those are the X and Y coordinates. And whereas the third parameter is going to be the ending points or the ending coordinates of the box. So it's something like this. Imagine a 2D plane, and in that 2D plane you have the X and Y axis, and the image is placed in between those axes. So what happens is that this X and Y coordinates are going to represent the initial position of the box inside the image, and the W and H are going to represent the width and height of the box. So now if you want to be able to get this position inside the X and Y plane, what you have to do is that you have to first add the width to the X and the height to the Y to get this position's coordinates. So once you have these 2 coordinates, the rectangle method is going to join them and create a rectangle. So that's how you draw the rectangle onto the face. So the next parameter is going to be the color of the box, and I'm going to give it as green. So since it is B, G and R, G represents the green color. So this is the RGB value of green color. So the last parameter is going to be the thickness. So I've given it as 2. So now that we have drawn the rectangle, we have to show the output to the user. So I'm going to use a method inside CV2 which is called as ImShow. And for that, I'm going to pass in 2 parameters. The first one is going to be the text that you want to show on the window pane. So I'm going to give it as, let's say, identified face. And the second parameter is going to be the image itself. So you don't need to worry about, equating this to a variable, because when you use the rectangle method and give the image, the box is going to be drawn on the original image itself. So when you try to output it, the image is going to output with the box drawn on it. So the last thing that we have to do is that we have to close the window. So I'm going to use a method inside CV2 called as destroy all windows. So this is going to close off all the remaining windows once you have seen the output. So now if you save this and try to execute it, It's python identify.py. If you had observed, the image did open, but it only lasted for a single second. And the reason why that is happening is because this is going to execute once and it's going to close off. So we don't want that to happen. We want to be able to see the output unless and until the user clicks on the X mark or closes it off. So the way that you do that is that you're going to place all of this inside a loop. So I'm going to initialize a while loop and give it as, and I'm going to place all of this inside that loop. Then below everything, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write an if condition. So the condition is given as the program has to wait for the user to press a key inside the keyboard, and if the user presses a key and the key that has been pressed is equal to Q, then you have to break out of the loop. So once you're broken out of the loop, destroy all the windows. So now if you save this and try to execute it once again, as you can see, the window did open and now we are able to identify the face inside the image. So now if you click on Q, that is going to close off the window. So that's how you identify a particular face inside an image. But let's say you don't want to do that for the static image and instead you want to apply this onto a live video. So the way that you do that is similar to this. So I'm going to create another file called as identify_video. And I'm just going to copy everything from here and place it in this. So for this to work, you only have to do 3 changes. The first one is you don't need the image itself. The second thing is that you have to initialize the video camera to capture the images from the video. So you might have already known that a video is nothing but a series of frames or images. So if you want to apply this face identification to the video, you just have to capture that particular frame and try to use that and read the face inside that image and show it to the user. And you have to continuously do it for each and every frame. So first we are going to initialize the video camera. So the way that you do that is something like this. So we have a method inside CV2 and that is called as video capture. And for this video capture method, we're going to pass in an ID. And this ID is generally what is used to represent the camera inside the system. And 0 represents the default camera which is there on your system. So you can give it as 0 and see if it's working or not. And if it's not working and the video is not opening, what you can do is that you can give it as -1. And even then, if it's not working, you have to go online and search for the video capture index of your particular model. So once you have that particular index, you can place it here. It is generally around 0, -1 or 1, 2 or something like that. So you can get that index and place it here. So once you're done initializing the video camera, inside the while loop, you have to read each and every frame. So the way that you do that is something like this. So we're gonna use the read method to read the image or the frame from the video capture. And this read method is going to return 2 values. The first value is going to represent whether it was able to successfully capture the frame or not. And the second one is the image itself. And since we only want the image and I don't want the notification or the implication that it has been successfully done or not, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give it as underscore. And it's going to imply that you can just ignore this. Okay. So I'm going to just take the image and pass it to the gray image. So everything from here is same. So we're going to pass it to the CV2 color. That is going to convert it to a grayscale image. Then we're going to pass it to the detect multiscale to detect the face. Then later we're going to draw a rectangle, then show that output and also wait for the user to press the Q key to exit out of the loop. And below everything else, we're going to type in vc.release. And that is going to release the video camera. That is, it's going to stop capturing the images. And then it's going to destroy all the windows. So now if you save this and try to execute it, I'm going to pass in identify_video. So as you can see here, the window pane has opened. And the reason why you're not able to see anything right now is because I don't have a video camera with me right now. That's why there's no output. But if you execute this on your system, you'll be able to see your face and it should be able to detect your face inside the video as well. And now if you press on Q, that is going to close off the window. So that is how you identify faces inside a particular image or a live video. And in the upcoming videos, as I've said earlier, we're going to see how to implement this and create a project where we can recognize multiple people and differentiate between them. So that's it for this video guys. I hope you liked what I've seen till now. If you did, then please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.